You're in tune to the Powerhouse Radio, linking the world to the Caribbean. Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on the Powerhouse radio station are those of the host, guests, and callers, are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other hosts or advertisers. The show, found on the Powerhouse radio station, can promote any lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only and are not intended to treat, diagnose, and or claim any cure of disease or conditions. Opinions stated by various contributors to the Powerhouse Radio and its programming are not to be considered as endorsed by the Powerhouse Radio station. Visitors are urged to use their own discernment to draw their own conclusion. We emphasize the importance of keeping an open mind.
Yeah. You listen to the sounds of DJ Fourth Quarter in your ear right now. If you're in your car, if you're at home, if you're on your phone, let's gripe, baby.
Driving home and you're feeling kinda tired. Radio play the same thing every day, so you need a little switch in your life. Traffic got you jammed up every night. Tune in to Powerhouse. Wednesday 7 to 9, you need to check them out. I promise I ain't trying to hype, but one good listen tonight, it might change your life. So what's the name of the show? You need something to just ride to on the go. Or you might be home, so log on. You can even dial in on your phone. I promise that you're gonna love it. Just try it one time, it'll blow your mind. Now I'ma say it just one more time. Every Wednesday from 7 to 9.
Hey, welcome, you guys. Welcome. It is Wednesday, March 20, what? 6? 27? 27. I'm just saying, this month is going so fast, y'all. We got to say happy birthday to MG. He celebrated his birthday on Sunday. Happy birthday, MG.
Well, happy belated birthday. We hope you had a good weekend and you enjoyed yourself. Happy belated.
Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, he kind of look a little year older now, but you're looking good. I like the. I
see him. Them grades coming through, baby.
I see him. Beard games matter. Beard games matter. I see him.
All day, every day.
He's going to be a silver fox in a little bit.
Thank you for joining in. Hey, don't forget to share and like. We have, listen,
thank you to my fellow Aries.
Y'all, but we got a lot of stuff going on. But see, MG, he's going to celebrate his birthday until the end of this month. So keep celebrating your birthday. Nakaya, she just celebrated her birthday. I think her birthday is actually Nakaya. Come on in the comments. Is it the 29th that she celebrated her birthday or the 28th? But her birthday this week. So shout out. It's Aries season. Shout out to all the Aries. Yes. Shout out. Listen, I don't even know where to start, guys. I don't know if you guys have any gripe, but it's so much we got to get into tonight. So who want to start it off? You got something? You know what, Mckenna, you've been MIA for a minute. I think of one or two shows. How you doing?
Well, one show I was sick, and then one show I had a meeting. So I am just excited to be back and available. I don't really have a lot of gripes. I guess my only gripe is, in this work environment, you have a meeting for the meeting. So today I had a meeting for the meeting, and then they rescheduled the meeting. And then we had the meeting 2 hours later for the meeting that we talked about yesterday. But alas, it's like that sometimes. And then when the meeting was rescheduled for 2 hours later, of course, one of the managers popped in late. Oh, I had another meeting. You mean the meeting for the meeting? Because we've already rescheduled this meeting. But I'm sure that other people can relate to, having those meetings and then the follow-up meeting and then the action items from the meeting. And so if you are in that kind of work environment, just hang in there and smile and nod and just do your part. That's all I can say. But just light gripes, nothing really heavy. Spring is springing, pollen season is pollinating. And I've got allergy tablets on deck, as everyone who suffers from allergies should. Don't forget to take them daily.
Exactly, and that's me. I wake up in the morning, the first 2.5 hours, I sound like I got the flu, COVID, all in one. I'm just saying. But yes, the pollen is serious out here. That's my gripe. Why you came so early? I mean, it started about 2 weeks. I was in the house and I sneezed. I was like, huh, God bless me. And then I was, and I sneezed about 5 times. I said, wait a minute. I don't sneeze like that. And I said, oh, snap. I ain't been around nobody. Then I was like, oops, it's March. It's an allergy. And it's been on and popping. I don't know if you guys can see it this eye. Sometimes it be red and all that stuff. So if you in Georgia or anywhere you at, the pollen coming out early, just go on and take your allergy medicine, your nose spray. I mean, it's like it's a part of my purse now. Until like maybe the end of April. So yes, that's what I'm dealing with. That's my gripe, pollen. Go away if you can. MG, you got something?
No. I'm actually pretty good. Well, it actually not stems from, but it's actually kind of a little bit oh, she going off and I'm coming.
Oh, she already listen. The car, we coming. We just trying to get the little, the little hellos and the little gripes out. But we coming.
I ain't really got no gripe, man. I was just gonna talk a little bit. Let's go ahead and get into it, then. Mister, take that.
All right, so let's start off. Okay. All right. So Nakaya, she said, y'all get into it. I don't want to hear nothing about no gripe, no allergy, no nut. She was like, get into it. So of course, everybody been seeing the news. You done seen TMZ. You done seen Homeland Security. You done seen everything about this P. Diddy love, aka Puff Daddy. I'ma go last. I gotta go last. MG. Ooh-wee. What's your take?
Oh, the brother's in trouble. I don't know what you got to do to get Homeland Security to raid your house. I just don't know what you got to do. His allegations stem from, pretty much, some. I think some people saying trafficking. So maybe that's why. But I ain't never known, Homeland Security to kind of, raid people's house unless you was, talking to some different type of people or in bed with some different type of people. You know what I mean? Some international people. So I don't know, but that people were saying that when they raid your house, they got evidence, and they ain't just, they ain't wake up on the day and was just like, you know what, we ain't doing that. Let's just go raid somebody's house real fast. So it wasn't that, and probably something that was been brewing for a minute before they decided to, because it was a he had houses in several places, so it wasn't one house. So this definitely was a federal effort to get whatever they were gonna get. It's just that's all. I'm just kind of staying tuned to figure out exactly what he did. Not if it was the FBI, it'd be okay. They got it. It's the FBI. But Homeland Security, that's different. I gotta stay tuned for this. Got to.
Good evening, Miss Butterfly. Good evening, Miss Butterfly. Also, before we leave, Nakaya, her birthday is Friday, so that's March 29th. So, of course, we're going to be shouting you all night out for your birthday, Nakaya. She's one of our loyal listeners, too. So, happy birthday when it comes. I'm going to give you an extra 5 days in April to celebrate that. You know what I'm saying? Because you kind of got cheated a little bit. But again, happy birthday, Nakaya. That her birthday is on Friday. So anyone in the chat just going to wish her happy birthday. Miss Butterfly, thank you for tuning in. So guys, let's go ahead and share and like the on YouTube, because we're going to get into it. Mckenna, I saw you came off of mute because you're ready. Go on, Mckenna.
It's not so much that I'm ready. I think I'm just disappointed that we're still in this space where corruption is being investigated in the music industry, in the film industry, and with Easter coming around the corner, I just thought about and not judging people, but just thinking about the amount of sin that he's being accused of, not just crimes, but if we think about moral and ethical, and the type of living that we want to have, and you just kind of put it into the context of, we have Good Friday coming up, and I just really thought about, some of the things that I've read and some of the allegations about sex trafficking and just about the pattern of abuse, sexual abuse, sexual misconduct that has been alleged to have happened, in this industry. It's just sad and disappointing, and it's distasteful. And I know that people are reading it and it's hot on the press, but I'm just disappointed. It's a reflection of our culture and who we are as people, and it shouldn't be this. This shouldn't be the focus. There's a lot of people out there that are talented, that have gifts, that have contributed to the arts and the entertainment industry, and all of that tends to get overshadowed when these types of reports and raids and allegations are brought to the light. And it's almost like, well, you can only be successful if there's this other dark side that's happening, in our culture, in this industry. And we've seen this with, other people. We talked about Bill Cosby, and we talked about R. Kelly. And this is, right in line with that same entertainment industry and that same, I would say, like, two sides. You have you can't take away the artistic and the creative side because they did that part. But then when you peel back the layer and you see, or you read, or you see the allegations and how over the past 20 years, 30 years, people have stories from 25 years ago, from the 90s, from the inception of Bad Boy Records. People have stories about things that they witnessed, observed, were forced to participate in. And so it just disturbs me, on a level that, we talk about the youth and the people that are coming behind us, and what message are we sending to them? Like, even we've talked about some of the artists, some of the female artists, some of the male artists, the lyrics in their songs, and how really degrading it is. And what is that doing to empower, uplift, build generational wealth, build spiritual, mental, physical health in our community? So I'm in a different space. I'm in a disappointing, kind of melancholy, kind of, how do we rally around each other and address, these things that might be happening in our own backyard? We've talked about abuse in the past, in how we keep it secret, in our families, and in our neighborhoods. We don't really talk about it. So I'm kind of looking at this more on, how do we recover from this? Once all the allegations are unfolded and it's all brought to light, and maybe there's a trial, maybe there are a host of women that come forward and share their story. But how do we heal and recover from that? And how do we make sure that these 23-year-old artists that are coming up don't fall into the same web that some of these other artists have fallen into?
Ooh, yes, Mckenna, you said it. I'm not a P. Diddy fan, but I feel bad for him. I do. Why? Why do I feel bad for him? I believe that the things that he was doing, those were the things he was introduced to. I believe a lot of people, even including his ex, who opened the Pandora box, they did things willingly as adults. What is getting me is the sex trafficking, because that was the response from Homeland Security. Homeland, they were like, we don't get involved with any and everything, but when it comes to sex trafficking, yeah, we don't play that, pretty much. And I'm still mind boggled. I had a conversation with my girlfriend today, and I said, I'm not gonna say too much on it because we don't know what goes on behind closed door if we wasn't there. I said, but I just look at everything that, even with y'all know me, even with R. Kelly, a lot of the things happen with the adults. They allowed it to. And You know, when we start talking about the underage, we know with R. Kelly's situation, their parents was involved with that. And I have such a strong feeling against so many things because it's like, okay, the abuse and what Cassie alleged that happened while she was with him. You're an adult. And so I feel bad for him. And if I had to give him any word of encouragement, I'd be like, leave. Just leave. I'm just saying. So we're gonna see how this play out. It's crazy. Just like in Atlanta, there's a club called oh my goodness. I don't remember the name of that club, but there's a club in Atlanta where you could pay a couple of dollars. There's a couple or a single person, and you could go and you could mingle and you could do all kind of stuff with whoever you want to, whenever, however, whatever.
It start with a T.
What you said, MJ?
It start with a T.
What is it, trapeze or something like that?
Trapeze.
Okay. Andra G, hey boo, that's, remember Andra G? She was the original host too of Let's Gripe. She said, don't feel bad, they're rich and don't care. If it's a minor, then we have a problem. I said the same thing. If there's children involved, yeah, that's where we cross the line. If it's adult, now the adults make the decision on what they want to do. Yeah, but that same club, Trampies, whatever. Again, if I go down there, pay my money, and go whatever, and I choose that I want to do this every week, that's me as an adult. In my head, that's what I think they were doing. I think they were just having that whole big, rich, fabulous, orgy lifestyle and down. I just feel that they was doing all kind of stuff because they could do it because they got money to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we care? Why should it be a problem? But again, Homeland Security said, we don't care whatever you want to do. But when we talk about sex trafficking, that's a whole different story. We all know how sex trafficking is a very serious and it is very big. Mm-hmm. You even got old Joe in the project. Mm-hmm. Sex trafficking young women and minors. So we do know it's a big problem, especially in Georgia. You hear about this a lot. So we do know that sex trafficking is an issue and it's serious. There's women and men go missing. They're never found, even their bodies and so forth. So I'm not saying that I feel bad for him if he did things that was illegal. I'm just saying I'm looking at the first allegation that came out, and it came out from someone that he was in a relationship with, and not for months, but years. That's my take on it. Guys, Nakaya, I know that you in the comments, so you gotta guys, just send your comments in so we can see, because that's just my feeling. Andrew G told me don't feel bad, but she said they rich and they don't care. But if children's involved, then we got a problem. So that's Andrea G. So Nakaya, let us know what's going on, because you said that what a mess. So tell us what your opinion is in the comments. MG, Mckenna,
yeah.
Do y'all want to jump in and what I said and how I feel?
Yeah. So really quickly, as you mentioned, trapeze and just that whole scene. You guys remember, of course, when we were first introduced to the Me Too movement. And it started this big wave of reflection, which reflection meant, well, I really didn't want to do that for some. Now, others was straight up, you know what I mean? But for some, it started a thing of reflection. Well, you know what? I didn't really want to do it, but I did it anyway. And that turns into a charge, because it seems.
I think MG got froze for a minute. Let's wait till he come back. But also, guys, if you don't feel like typing in the chat, you can also call us on the call-in line so we can hear your beautiful, wonderful voice. I think MG, can you hear me? I don't think he knows that he's breaking up. I'll text him. All right, so if you want to share your thoughts, please
I can see I'm frozen.
give us a call.
I can see I'm frozen.
MG,
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
You were frozen for a moment, but we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. I felt like I was going to robot. No, I was just saying. Just really quickly, if I freeze up again, I want to get this out real fast. Just because of the Me Too movement, which is always a lot of people started to say, reflecting on situations which they felt uncomfortable, but they did stuff anyway. And so what that turned into is a movement of I could be charged with those situations when everybody, well, the people that were engaging thought it was just a good time when you felt uncomfortable, but you didn't say anything to anyone. And then it turns out later on that was the case, that you felt uncomfortable, and it turned into essentially you can be charged with some type of sexual assault or something to that effect for those situations.
And I think that's the part that, is just kind of disturbing, where we're talking about different things happening at the same time. We're talking about people who are consensually participating in adult activities. And then we're talking about people who are and we know what peer pressure is like. We still get pressure even though we're adults. And so you're at a party and there are rich people there and you're a newcomer to the industry and, you want your record to sell and, you want to be on the radio. And so, in that moment, you've had 3 shots, and, maybe whatever your drug of choice is if you participate. And then it leads to, experiences that you didn't necessarily walk in the door expecting to have. And so, even though we're adults, we still have the pressure of making decisions, and we can still be influenced and we can still be coerced and we can still, we can still be blackmailed, so to speak, or blackballed. I mean, you think about people who tell their truth and then they disappear and they don't make any more records, or you talk about people who want to have some content, in their records and actually talk about things, but nobody wants to hear that. And only the artists that are talking about selling drugs and, having sex and, who are being risque are promoted. And so, there's a whole subculture of artists who aren't mainstream artists who are playing good soulful, earthy, relatable music, but they're not being promoted. So to me, if the scope is larger, the scope is, the music industry is promoting the negativity of the community and not positive things. And this is very negative. It's negative in lots of ways. My point earlier was, how do we recover from this? There are people, and even Usher, if you listen to Usher, he said some things over the years about, he shares some things about experiences that he's had, and it leads me to, because he was a young artist, he was 14, 15 when he got started, and so it just leads me to believe that he too was in situations that he might not have really wanted to participate in, but because of where he was in his career and who was really controlling him at the time, now he's in a place where, he can be more, he's an adult first and second of all, but now he's in a place where he can control more of his image and the projects that he works on. But when you're year 1, 2 through 9, and you really owe everybody and you're not really making any money, the record company is making all the money, and you have to, meet the contract which says I need to write 5 albums in the next 5 years and have so many top #1 hits, there's that pressure. So I don't want to discount the people in the industry who, as we used to say, got caught up in the lifestyle, because it is a lifestyle of sin, a lifestyle of treachery, whatever you want to call it. So I think that we need to tease out those things. But to your point earlier, Tonia, I do agree that we tend to replicate things that we've been exposed to. It's like, if I started smoking weed, now I want my friends to do it. And so I'm going to introduce my friends to it. And so even with drinking or anything else that we are engaged in. If I'm doing something positive and I start walking 4 days a week, I'm like, hey, you want to walk 4 days a week? But if I'm drinking 4 days a week, I might say, hey, you want to drink with me tonight? So we do bring people into our mess, into our lives, into our way of thinking. And so it just will be interesting to see who else has some content to add to this novel, because it is a book that's unfolding, and how far back it goes, and then how, I've heard names like Oprah and Tyler Perry and Prince Harry being dropped into the bucket. So I think there's more that's going to be revealed.
All right. So Nakaya, she says, as far as R. Kelly, she feels bad for him because he was he had a beautiful gift, talent that God gave him, and he shared it with the world, but was also wasted because he had a sexual addiction. Also, Miss Butterfly, her comment, she says, when you denounce God, play with the devil, you will be exposed and will not win. Ooh-wee. I want to say something to you. Nakai, she also said, I think he had a tip that authorities were coming because they said he flew to an island when the U.S. where the U.S. has no authority to do anything. I'm just saying New Zealand, Switzerland. I'm just saying, how I know. I mean, I just got to know. But can I say something? Can I be real? Can I be real tonight? You know who was this is my opinion, but do you know who I think was the biggest sex trafficker, pedophile we ain't talking about Weinstein. We not talking about Epstein. We not talking about Bill Cosby. We not talking about R. Kelly. Can you Mckenna or MG or anyone in the chat, can you tell me who I'm talking about? Who was the biggest ever? Hey, somebody texted me just now and said it. Hey, go in the chat and say, anybody else? One of our listeners, my good friend, she just texted me the name. I want to see if anybody else could tell me who was the biggest sex trafficker, pedophile in USA. Okay, we got Clive Davis. I wasn't on that. There you go. Boom. Playboy Hefner. Y'all forgot about him?
We didn't forget about him. They did a whole series on him. I mean, a whole documentary on him.
He never got in no trouble. Mm-mm. Homeland Security, nobody was ever knocking at his door. I think they was having drinks with him. But I think he was slick at it, though. He just knew who to bring in his world.
He also had a lot of footage and a lot of video. I mean, there were politicians and lawyers and doctors and businessmen and Fortune 500 company leaders and CEOs and executives. I mean, this was a compound of pleasure. And the women served at the leisure of the host, who was Hefner. But this is part of our culture. I mean, if you think about the American culture, the US culture, they brought a whole population of people over here. We're talking about the slaves, and did nothing but breed and rape them, the women. I mean, every African American person has, when they do your ancestry and they're like, oh, I have white blood. Well, if you think about what happened on the plantations, there were lots of babies that were born because the masters wanted to A, populate their plantations with more workers, and B, use the African women as their pleasure. So this is part of the fabric of our country. You know, we talk about in God we trust. Okay, we trust him, do we? But do we mirror him? Are we godlike? You know, do we present ourselves in a holy fashion? And there's a lot of that conversation that we don't have. And so when you said that, I was thinking about something completely different. I was thinking about the Catholic Church and the priests,
All right.
and the Boy Scouts. Again, it's woven into our culture, and we don't talk about it. We talk about it in things like, oh, hot topics. Oh, somebody just got caught doing something, but we don't really peel back the layer and discuss how we're going to heal from this. How are we going to teach we talk about good touch, bad touch. I remember there was a big campaign on that at one time in the school system, the good touch, bad touch. And, we were teaching kids to, say something if, something has happened to them. We have a whole TV show, Law and Order SVU. It's been on 20 years. And it talks about nothing but people who have been sexually assaulted. And so sexual abuse, sexual assault, sexual trauma, sexual impropriety, sexual views, I think that we're in an election year, and maybe this is something that, our politicians need to talk about too, because there's not one family that hasn't been touched by it. Everybody knows somebody that's been molested. Everybody knows somebody that has been traumatized by something. And a lot of times it's things that we need to discuss out loud and we need to have a platform for. But what do is we build a mansion and call it, the Playhouse Mansion or whatever it was called. We build a mansion and people walk around with cute little bunny ears and a cute little tail. They serve cocktails and they sit in laps and they have conversations and we make this normal. So I think that it's not just interesting what's going to happen with P. Diddy, because he's just one person of many. It's not just him. He's there are a lot of people who participated in it, and it's not something that's necessarily going to disappear or go away. More names may be revealed, but really we have to think about how do we feel about it and what kind of messages do we want to send going forward. And then if we feel that it's inappropriate, how do we address it? And then who do we address it to? And then how does it stop? Or does it just continue? After him, is it somebody else that just picks up the torch and continues it? So, and then again, on the other hand of that, we're all adults. And so as adult people, we can make our own decision to participate in what we want to participate in. So we have both sets of the freedoms. We have the freedom to do whatever we want to do, as long as it's not against the law. And then do we still have a moral obligation to practice things that are moral? And then who decides that? So I think it's a good conversation, and there's lots of things to unpack and lots of different angles to approach it at, and not just the legal part.
But like Chanel said, the fact is that everything that came out about Hugh Hefner is when he died. But I just believe it's the people that he had in his circle. It was like he was untouchable, because remember, these young ladies that he married or that he had as his girlfriend, they were maybe at the 19 and 20 years old mark. So they were much younger, before they came the main women in the house. But again, I look at this, I do, and I'm not a prejudiced person, but I look at it as also racial. And I always say this: we can't do what the white folks do. We just can't do it. We can't do it. Because look at the ex-president. He was accused of everything. Grabbing somebody by the pee, all this stuff. He was accused of sexual harassment, everything. Paid off people, everything. They never raid his place. The only time they raid Mar-a-Lago down there in Florida was because they said he had some classified documents that he took from the White House. But they never went as far as even trying to get to raid him. And I put it together. I put him in the same category. He was friends with Epstein. Him going to the man island. And all these accusations came against him too. He paid off people the same way some of the rest did. But they never went to him about any of that. The only reason why they went and raided his Florida was because of classified documents that he supposedly have taken from the White House. And I look at it like, I'm not saying what they do is right. If drugs, sex, whatever, I'm not saying anything of those things right, because they got to answer to one person, and that's God above. So, but I'm just saying, why is it that I can't even ask the question because we know the answer. Why do they treat us different than the rest? We know. But we are good enough that they can rape the women to have children, to clean their house, to cook for them, to raise their children. Again, it just goes right back to slavery. I'm just saying. So for the average, our friends and family in our neighborhood, we're not, rich and powerful like some of the others out there. But we just got to always remember, we just can't do what they do and get away with it. We're not going to be treated the same. That's my take on it. So we're going to see how this play out. I think, MJ, you wanted to tap in real quick?
No, we good.
Right. So we're going to see how this play out. Because, see, I'm not saying he didn't do anything or he did. I'm not even on that. I just don't know how we got from his ex-girlfriend making these accusations, and because she done had pillow talk with her new white husband, and then he convinced her to go to the police and to get a lawyer. I'm just saying. That's my take on it. But we're gonna be talking about this as days come, weeks, months, because this is not going anywhere. And MG, what you said, my girlfriend earlier, she said they got something, because there's no way they would have gotten a warrant to be able to go raid. So let's see how much they're gonna let us know.
Homeland Security at that.
Homeland Security at that. So Kimberly said, "Hey family, y'all have the tea tonight." Listen, I'm telling you, I don't know. Lately we've been going, and we love the fact that you guys are in the comment. Nakaya said, "Can we just send our thoughts and prayers out to the family and friends of Maryland?" Yes, we do. Oh my goodness. Yes, ma'am.
It was devastating that was very devastating when I saw the image of the bridge fall down, because I missed it the day that it happened. And so I happened to turn the news on. I'm like, what is going on? How did this bridge collapse? This is a scene you would see in an action movie, but not something that you would expect to happen in real life. And I know that they are, investigating, and apparently the ship caught on fire, and they did put in a mayday, so they did close the bridge, and so that saved a lot of lives. But it was just traumatic to watch that bridge literally collapse. And then you just think about what that must feel like to actually plunge into the water and not be able to, if you're trapped, not be able to survive. Dying by fire or drowning just seems like a terrible way to die, and it's just tragic. And so we definitely are sending prayers to those who have been impacted directly and indirectly by that accident that occurred.
So yesterday morning, I because I start work early in the morning, so sometimes I have a little idle time, so I can scroll through, and see what's going on. And I saw that, and I remember just like watching it, and I'm just seeing the cars zooming on the bridge, and then all of a sudden, you see the ship doing something, but still all of a sudden you kind of see the ship kind of go through, under the bridge. And then all of a sudden, it just came down like what's that wooden puzzle again? What is it? Jenga. And I was just, like you said, something out of the movie. But once I saw that, I couldn't watch it again. So every time if I scroll through it, I'm passing it. I'm not stopping to see what it's doing, what they're showing, because it was so devastating. It was 6 workers that was on the bridge. Out of the 6, 2 survived. They found 1. They're still looking for, I think it's 4 or 3 more, but 2 did survive. Then when they were showing the men that was on the bridge, they were all immigrants. they worked the grave night shift. And y'all, I had to think about it. I was like, look, a lot of times immigrants work the hours no one else want to work the jobs that no one want to work, but they went out there to work to provide for their family. And unfortunately, 4 is not going home the way they left. And I remember thinking yesterday when I saw it yesterday morning, and I'm like, I'm over here griping about this and I'm griping about that. And I keep having, every day I'm reminding myself more and more, what you're griping about is so medium to what's really is going on out here. Because unfortunately, there are people that went to work, but is not coming back home. So when you see things like that, it's kind of like, okay, let me appreciate my issues that I got, because they're not as big as others. Like P. Diddy, we was just talking about the family who are planning, a funeral, and then even someone who just crossed that bridge or was about to go on the bridge and they survived. But just thinking about how they're going to feel or think the next time they got to go across the bridge. So it's like, but you know what? Everyone's saying that it was Cat Williams said, this is the year of the truth. But it's leap year, right? I don't like leap year. I do not like leap year.
Oh yeah, it's definitely leap year. And leap year is leaping.
Definitely.
Leap year is leaping, just like that pollen is pollinating, leap year is. And so, just real quick, I just saw that the case in Georgia against the former president is going to resume. And it says that Sister Willis is going to be back on the job on Thursday, which is tomorrow. She had to remind people that she was not the one that was on trial. And I don't know if we talked about her and what happened with that decision, but I'm glad to see that she's back in the office at work and that she's able to resume her duties. She's had a rough year, and some of it she probably brought on herself, maybe not, we talked about that a little bit in February, but I am glad to see that she is back at work and that she can get back focused to the business of this trial, because it's not over for the former president. He still has to be held accountable for his actions. And, even this week, the courts did what they did. They said that he didn't have to pay the whole $455. Just hand me this $175 in 10 days and we'll move on to, your payment plan. So basically you're on a payment plan. That's all I saw. You're at, what was the name of the store? Kmart. And you put it on layaway. You're putting this debt on layaway. You're using Klarna and Affirm, and I can't think of the other ones, but that's all I saw is the billionaire is on a payment plan. And we're familiar with payment plans. We've had payment plans before, and that's all you're on is a payment plan, sir. It's not like you don't owe the money. You're just on a payment plan. Let's call it what it is.
Well, the rich folks, they don't like spending their money. They like spending other people's money. But right now, nobody's going to give them his money so he can go on and pay somebody off the court. So at this point, he's like, okay, listen, all right, can we do what the other black people used to do, the ones that used to live like on Martin Luther King Drive? I'm just saying what that is. They're like, it's slayaway. So again, let's see how this panned out. But like we said, MG and I said last week that Willis already looked that way like, if it's up to me or you to go, it's going to be you, right?
Oh, it was understood. It was understood.
He knew. The next day he walked in there and turned in his resume. He just knew. Listen, if it's you or I, it's you, right? So hopefully none of that taints this case. Let's see how that goes. But listen, until they raid his house, I'm still not going to be settled. Okay? I just need them to raid some. Okay? I'm just saying. But listen, I need everyone that's listening. If you want to call in, please call us. But I want you to put it in the chat now. And listen, go ahead and like and subscribe and share Let's Gripe at thepowerhouseradio.com. So Monday, The Powerball is jackpot is very high. Someone in New Jersey did win the Mega Million last night. I don't think it's anybody that I know because no one sent me a text and tell me that I don't have to go to work this morning. So I don't think it's somebody I knew, because the ones who I know love me and knows me, they would send me a text and tell me I don't have to go to work. And when I get that text, I know what's up. So the Mega Million is someone claimed that ticket. So now we have the Powerball tonight. It's high. I don't know how much dollar amount, but I have a question for you. And Mckenna, MG, and also our listeners got a question. If I say Mckenna or MG, you know what? You should pay the Mega Million, the Powerball. The jackpot is $5 billion. Oh, but I don't have any money. And I said, okay, I'll give you the money to play because you don't play. And usually the people who don't play the lottery, you go in the store, buy one ticket, and most likely you out of a win, you end up winning that jackpot, right? If you were to win that jackpot from the $2 that I gave you to play that jackpot, what would you do? Would you give me some money? If so, how much? I think you lost MD. He could come back in.
You'll come back in. I mean, me and you have relationships, so we go way back. So, and I'm a fair, practical person. And how much is the jackpot?
I think it's almost 9 billion or something. It's up there. I don't know the exact money,
I'm not going to be able to
what we
spend
got
that.
right now.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to spend that much money in my lifetime. So I definitely would first give you your $2 back.
A few dollars.
No. I said first. I first would give you your $2 back, with a little sticky note and a smile, and then I will break you off a discreet amount of money, discreetly, because I wouldn't want other people flooding you thinking that you're super rich either, because that would cause some other conversations. But I would break you off some good amount of money. It would be more than adequate. I don't have a number, but I would definitely make sure that the grandchildren that you don't have yet are good. Good. Oh wait, do you have grandkids? I can't remember.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't remember. I was like, wait, I don't think I got that right.
I don't look it though. I don't look it.
I was like, I don't think I got that right.
But there's more. There's more to come.
Okay, I had to think about that. But yes, they would definitely be good. Good. And their kids would be good. Everybody would be good. Because in that kind of money, I think that it would be like a strategic plan, because the goal would be to, like you just mentioned earlier, rich people like to spend other people's money. So now we have to figure out how to make this money perpetuate for the next generations behind us. It's not about just having this money and spending this money, and going on fancy cruises, because I'm gonna do that too, a yacht and a plane and a boat and an island. I'm not getting raided by the FBI or the Homeland Security people, but it would really be, what can we do to make sure that this money makes more money, so that as many people can benefit from this as possible. And this is one of the things that I wonder, I don't want your half. I know that's right. And this is one of these things that we haven't talked about it recently, but what's the responsibility, if any, of the Oprahs and the Tyler Perrys and the Johnsons?
Wait, hold on a second. Don't mean to cut you, Chanel. She said no, and Tonia, she gonna make the last one pizza.
I know that's right. She said it. She did. Angie said that. Angie, I call Chanel Angie. Angie said that. She meant that. You're gonna make that shreds. She's gonna make that shreds. Because I only had to give her a little bit of money.
Be in trouble. People be thinking that I got it all the time because I be making it last. So Andrew G said we would have to share it equally, and then Asha said I would. She said she would give half, and Andrew G said no, we must be equally shared. If we're being technical, it's mine's. LOL. Nakaya said I would finish school, buy a house, leave to my kids, and make sure they are set for life. But what about me, Nakaya? What you gonna give me? You gonna give me something because I gave her that $2?
She got you.
She ain't mentioned me though, Nakaya.
She got you. Nakai got you.
Nakaya.
You know it's delayed. You know the chat's delayed. So she's still typing now. You know the chat's delayed. The comments are a little delayed. They're a little delayed. So
Me personally, I would, if you gave me that $2 to play the lottery, I definitely would give you half. Honestly, if it's a state, because a lot of people say, hey, I don't want to, some state require you to show your face, give your name and all that stuff. I think we're in that state that does that. So I'm going to be cute. Did they change? I don't know if they changed it, but even so. But if they didn't change it, I got to get my name in a picture. I'm going to be cute and I'm smile. And but when you hear my name and then you call me on my phone, the only thing you're going to hear, the number you have reached has been disconnected. I'm just saying. But people who knows that I love you, y'all, and people know that I love a lot of people. Okay. And like Chanel said, I could make it last like Keith Sweat. For real. I got you.
So Tony, if you ever look, Tony, if I ever call you and say you're retiring tomorrow, be ready.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. See, because I tell people you gotta be careful. You can't say who know you. Because see, you might know me, but you might don't like me. You might don't want to share no me. And that person might be like, look, I ain't giving her that. She good. Listen, I'm only good for today. I ain't good for next year in 50 years from now. So I always say you gotta make sure it's somebody that you know and that love you, that is willing to share. I know definitely the people that I know, and I know that they are good people, and even people that I don't know. I say I would automatically buy like a 10-acre and I would just build homes. And yes, I know they got laws, fair housing laws and everything, but this is just gonna be a community for working poor, the people who works every day and just living paycheck to paycheck to take care of their family. So the car said, yes, after I make sure my kids good, I got you. Girl, by the time your kids good, you ain't got nothing left to give me. So she said, Mckenna, is that called generational wealth?
Yeah.
What are we talking? Of course, you always gonna do that. I always tell people you can't go wrong with a McDonald's franchise. You definitely can't go wrong with a Chick-fil-A. But maybe now, because did you guys hear that Chick-fil-A said they're gonna stop using the hormone chicken, and they're gonna start using the hormone chicken now?
No, I didn't hear that, but Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, I saw that.
Chick-fil-A is like Starbucks. The people who go to Chick-fil-A are going to go to Chick-fil-A. That's just
even if the chicken got antibodies in
it. There might be one or two people who decide not to go, but then if you think about it, there's so many things that have different ingredients that we don't know about.
That part.
Listen. Yes, but generational wealth. We could have a whole show on generational wealth.
Definitely, because that's the thing. You just have to, only thing you have to do is just do your math as far as marketing in the area. But there are franchises that you could actually franchise. And I mean, if I tell the story over and over, it's okay, because I think it's something for us to learn from.
Mm-hmm.
The owner of Starbucks went to Shaquille O'Neal, and he was like, hey, you want to invest in Starbucks, coffee, ice cold. So Shaquille O'Neal said, man, black people don't drink coffee. I ain't doing that, because black people don't fool coffee like that. He said that was the worst. That is something that he didn't see coming, but it came. And he said, and that, black people jump on everything. I mean, I'm just saying, we do. So Nakai said, oh, they're going to start injecting their chicken with hormones. I hear that on the radio. So yeah, because it's cheaper, because the chicken, develop faster and all that kind of stuff. But we've been eating these things for a very long time. So when you hear that someone may have dementia, someone has cancer, someone has some type of, some kind of ailment, it is always about something that we ate. If it ain't something we ate, for black women, perms, what we used to use in our hair, even the powder, we would put under our breasts to help with sweating and etc. People was getting breast cancer, they got ovarian cancer. So there's a lot of things that I'm not saying that it's too late, but they're already in our body. They're doing what it does. I think only ones that has chance now are children are being born. If they are start with plant-based diet, then they'll be okay. But who knows? Because they're also engineering peas and things like that. So how can we run from it? Pretty much you can't. It's just hey. But
It's like
yeah, when
everything
you
else.
think about winning that kind of money, you definitely want to invest it in something so it can work for you and you can save money.
Yeah. And then just like anything else, moderation is the key. We definitely aren't going to eat Chick-fil-A every day, but, if we eat it once a month and we have, our fruits and our vegetables and our teas and, our vitamins, then, all we can do is be as healthy as possible. And like you said, the environment is filled with toxins. Even the air we breathe, depending on where you live, has pollution in it. So we can't escape it, but we can manage it. We can manage it because, our time here is limited and we don't know if we're going to live 95 years or 65 years or 40 years. That part we don't get to control. But what we can do is, just be moderate, and be mindful of the things that we put in our body. And when we know we've had too much, cut back sometimes and drink more water and just do those things that keep us healthy and promote health, so that we will have the health and that generational wealth that we're talking about going forward. So I look forward to somebody winning the lottery that I know. I'm excited now. You got me very excited. Yes, I'm very excited.
Well, after the show, I'm definitely going to go ahead and put my couple of dollars in because you got to be in it to win it. And I said sometime, I was like, Lord, if it's for me, it will definitely be for me. But like I said, my family and my friends and people that I know, even associates, they know I got them. Because, what I'm going to do all that? I could think I can't spend it all. Yeah, I might just maybe go get an island or something. Be like, hey, y'all come over sometime, But again, we all think about, let's not think about just ourselves and not just our immediate family. Let's think about others. We can open up that spectrum and it's not all about us. It's, some people just keep it in their immediate family. With anything in general I'm speaking about. So kind of let's think about others. Let's think about someone that you might know your neighbor, works 24/7, has, a few children, and if you go to the grocery store, you could buy a couple of groceries. It's okay, and you got the extra money. Do it. I remember as a single mom coming up, and I remember I had a friend of mine, and I never complained about money. People don't know if I got $1 or $10. And I remember she went grocery shopping, and she came to the house, and she's like, "Come open the door." I'm like, "For what?" She was like, "Come open the door." And I went, and she started taking out groceries out of her. I was like, "What's this for?" She's like, "Oh, this bought some groceries for you." And I was like, "Really?" And I was like, "Thank you." I was really shocked. But you want to hear the thing, Mckenna? I was low on groceries. I really was. And that was over 20-something years ago. And I never forgot that because I said, look at that. God has that ram in the bush. So sometimes you don't have to say that. But someone that's thinking about the next person, knowing how somebody works so hard and just, trying, just doing what they're supposed to do, but they just can barely make it. And someone to think outside the box and say, let me buy some extras. When I'm buying my children, I buy hers. And I'm always indebted. Very grateful to today. So that's why I do what I do for others, because sometimes humble people don't say, "Mckenna, I only have $5 to last me and I don't have any gas." Humble people don't do that. Humble people is going to try to figure a way out. So by you turning around and say, "Hey, here, I just want to give it to you." It makes someone there. They would never forget that, and they always pass it forward. And because I was kind to, and that's why I'm kind, because people don't have to do it for you. So that's how we're going to end the show tonight. But don't forget, tomorrow we got Reasoning Thursday with Lady D and friends, and we have the Lady D show on Saturday, 12 to 4. Definitely want to send our condolences out to the Powerhouse Radio family, our condolences. Also, Junior Jackson, y'all know my son. He is running for commissioner in Clayton County. So he is he needs, his, I didn't know nothing about all these stuff. When you hear about the campaign funds and donations, that's how they run their campaigns. So if you guys listening and you want to donate to his campaign, please reach out to me. Or you can send an email at letsgripe@gmail.com, and I can definitely forward the information on how you'll be able to donate to Junior Jackson campaign. I think tomorrow is the cutoff for the donation. So if you're interested, just reach out to me. You have my phone number, or even, and you can call me 678-523-7505. Okay. Send me a text. Let me know you want information. I can do that. Mckenna, like I said, you and MG, we hold it down all the time, but I couldn't do this without you guys. Andra G, we miss you. Let us know when you want to come and hang out with us one Wednesday. The powerhouseradio.com. Thank you so much for always being here for us. A lot of times when we're not here, it's not the Powerhouse Radio. It's probably something going on personal with one of us, but we always try our best to be here every Wednesday. So thank you so much for definitely tuning in with us, chatting with us, and supporting us. And we cannot do this without you guys again. So until next week is going to be April, y'all. So enjoy Easter, be safe. But you know what, when April comes in, y'all, you know what? It's your girl birthday. So we're going to definitely start celebrating my birthday next Wednesday all the way to the 10th. So again, apparently MG did get knocked off. So I'm going to say goodnight for him. Mckenna, you have anything before we go? Any shout outs?
No, I just want to say happy birthday again, MG, and to all of the Aries who are having birthdays. And also, Tonia made a good point. Let's just pay it forward. It's a great weekend, a great season to pay it forward. And so when we're blessed, we need to bless other people. And so that was a great way to end the show. It's just a pleasure to be back. We're just so happy to be here. We're glad that everybody came and supported us tonight in the comments, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
And also Chanel birthday. Chanel birthday is April. She's
the Aries too.
Day before me. Chanel, type it in real quick. When is your birthday? I should know this by heart. That's my girl. She saved me a lot.
All right, Angie. Well, we're gonna say happy birthday to her next week.
Happy birthday. So yes, Aries season. So we definitely gonna be shouting out the Aries until the Aries season end, which is the 20th. So again, you guys have a great weekend. Be safe. We love you. Until next week, we're tuning out. Have a good night.
Yeah. You listen to the sounds of DJ Fourth Quarter in your ear right now. If you're in your car, if you're at home, if you're on your phone, let's gripe, baby.
Driving home and you're feeling kinda tired. Hey, radio play the same thing every day. So you need a little switch in your life. Traffic got you jammed up every night. Tune in to Powerhouse. Wednesday 7 to 9, you need to check them out. I promise I ain't trying to hype, but one good listen tonight, it might change your life. So what's the name of the show? You need something to just ride to on the go. Or you might be home, so log on. You can even dial in on your phone. I promise that you're gonna love it. Just try it one time, it'll blow your mind. Now I'ma say it just one more time. Every Wednesday from 7 to 9. Let's cry. Let's cry. Let's cry.
You're in tune to the Powerhouse Radio, linking the world to the Caribbean.
Let's cry.